I guess we'll have to be the
And
end.
he got bumped.
And Randy always likes. Well, they're
Yeah,
later,
I
so they have
glanced
to
at
be.
it preferred
They
it.
don't-
Look. Something. So you're more than an employee.
See
You're
that?
right. You're right. We are the- None of us knew that. It's very impressive. That's hard to realize. Now, we must have knowledge. Okay. Where do we find? I don't know much about. Is there- Yeah, so they have. Impressive compared to, yeah. Well, I guess we've got a quorum here. We're waiting for Randy. Yeah. Did I throw some of my stuff? Right. Good morning. For Miss Ryerson, here he is. We were pausing. Yay.
You knew you would make it.
For Ms. Ryerson and Jonathan, when the two of you speak to us, if you get puzzled looks, the mics are so bad. So I don't know what can be done, but both of yours, it just comes out. God knows what I sound like, but I know that for us, those two are hard. And I don't know what any of us can do about it, but I mean, is there somebody we could talk to? How about, can you let David know? This has been a problem since they installed this new system. It's been an issue. Yeah.
I know this issue has been brought up multiple times to our CSB TV staff
Oh.
that manages this. They said they have worked on it, so if there's no improvements, we can go back to them and tell them that we still have issues.
Okay. Actually, he sounded pretty good just then.
Okay.
Maybe, hey, hooray. How about you, Ann? Are you testing?
How does this sound?
It's better.
Okay.
Okay,
Yay, never mind.
absolutely.
Okay, the meeting of the Santa Barbara County Landmarks Advisory Commission of September 8th, 2025 will commence at 4 minutes after 10 a.m. And we will proceed to the roll call. So I'll start down at my left and we'll go forward.
Rob Knight, 4th District. Howard Witosh, 5th District.
Aaron Steinwalk's 3rd District.
Keith Kaufman Gray, First District.
Sheila Snow, First District.
And Ronald Nye at large chair. Thank you. Let's see. I have to learn this all over again. If I ever did. Minutes. We need to approve the minutes from the last meeting, which was in August. Are there any suggestions or changes or edits that anyone would like to introduce?
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, Commissioner Witosh.
I attempted to attend this meeting on Zoom or whatever it was. And efforts were made to connect me, but I was unable to be connected. So that would be a comment and a maybe advisory to our staff if to maybe facilitate the ways in which off-site members of the commission can attend. I know that members of the public can attend and other staff can attend, but for some reason there was a complication about a commissioner attending remotely.
Well, this came up before, especially with the COVID situation. And my understanding is that we cannot attend, the commissioners cannot attend remotely, period. But
Period.
Well,
I'd have to
there
ask
is-
Ms. Ryers.
Isn't it as a member? I mean, you can listen in, but you're not actually part of the meeting.
The way for members to attend remotely is it has to be noticed on the agenda 72 hours prior to the hearing with your address, location, and then you would have to make remarks that say if there's anybody over the age of 18 in your vicinity. Your location would also be a public meeting place, so you would have to allow people to attend the hearing at your location if they wish do so choose to. And I believe you even have to be ADA accessible. So that's another caveat
So-
to it as well.
Okay, I understand. I understand. It's just, I don't know from hour to hour or day to day, just exactly when I will or will not be able to attend. My default is to attend, but there are circumstances that come up and sometimes I cannot attend, which is, I mean, it was long after the cutoff for the notice and all that. So
Well, we miss you when you're not here. So appreciate it.
I will observe as much as possible.
So my question is, so can they listen? And maybe the problem is he's talking about is he wasn't able to even get in to be able to listen to the meeting versus, listening and thinking you're part of the quorum.
I think you should be able to listen. There's also some emergency exceptions. And what I could do is maybe at the next meeting, do a brief training, Brown Act training again
Okay.
and list out those circumstances for you.
The circumstances on August 8th were not emergencies, but they were shifts in my schedule up there, down here. I had to be in two places at once, and it was not once, but I mean consecutively. It was just not feasible for me to be in both places, so no emergency. Anyway, thank you.
Sure. Any other comments or suggestions? Anything on the minutes? Yes, Commissioner Knight.
There we go. Today's minutes, it says we're considering August 8th, and then the copy of the previous minutes, I see August 11th, so minor detail.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
This is
Mr.
just a
Kaufman
comment.
Gray.
I know a lot of times we cut and paste the board members list, the commissioners list, but today's agenda has the listing wrong for a chair and vice chair. And I think that was just a cut and paste problem. You corrected it on the minutes.
Thank you for seeing that.
I move to accept the minutes.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
And one abstention. Two abstentions. Commissioner Sidewalks and Witosh. abstained. Cross that off already. Is there any member of the public here or online that wishes to speak on an item that's not on our agenda today? This is your opportunity.
We have nobody in the attendees column and we have no letter submitted.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Staff update. I Don't see any staff. I don't think we have any staff. We have, of course, we have staff, but
We have staff,
beyond,
yeah.
beyond you, yeah, duh.
Nothing
All
from staff
right.
on the side.
I'll stumble my way through. Next item, chair project discussion. What have I got going on? HLAC received a letter and hopefully you might find this on your table. August 27th from Planning and Development, our department, regarding the Nature Conservancy's property out at the Danger Pond Reserve. And that property has been before us with some historic, potentially historic properties. And the Nature Conservancy is going forward with their establishment of that property as a preserve and a research center. And they want to legalize 41 existing water wells that have been there, some since 1985, which were used when they were running cattle, as they say, out there. 19 of the wells are proposed to be production wells, which means water wells, and 22 will be monitoring wells. So there has been a report issued by Planning and Development, a report of negative draft negative declaration saying that there might be significant adverse impacts. We don't know to what, but that these impacts can be reduced to less than significant with the proper mitigation measures. We don't know what those are either. So well, it's not a secret. Just none of us has gotten on the website and read the ND report, which would explain all this. And I was hoping somebody here would volunteer to do that, since it's in the, it's a significant property. So they indicate in their letter that cultural resources may be impacted. So I don't know if there's archaeology resources out there, but certainly we thought a couple of those buildings had potential. I don't remember how we came out on that. So one of us needs to check online and read this report and see what they're saying. We have until September 26th to respond. My guess is that it's not going to turn out to be a problem or an issue for us, but until we look, we don't know. If somebody looks at specifically what they mean by potential impacts to cultural resources. The wells are already in, but they do have somewhere in here, it talks about infrastructure, connecting wells to water troughs and new pipelines, pumps and troughs, and solar arrays. So,
Mr. Chair,
yes,
what is
Mr.
this
Witosh.
report that you are reading? What is that called?
Oh, the report that they've produced.
This thing that you,
This letter should have been on your table there.
it is not. Oh, maybe it is. I did not see it.
Ah, I think I have an extra one. It's the one with the county seal at the top.
There it is.
There it is, Dangerman Reserve.
Asked and answered. Thank you.
Ron,
Yes.
I can check and look at.
Oh,
before.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Basically saying that they don't have to do a full.
You don't have to do an EIR, and that's heaven to them. They don't have to do that. Yeah,
That's a lot.
as
And-
far as they know, but we may throw that into the ocean. We may,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been there. It's a beautiful ranch.
yeah, it is.
Sheila as well. The key, the planner is actually Henry Wakamia. His phone number and email are actually listed on this notification as well at the bottom. Mhm.
I was just saying, thank you, Sheila, for Snow, for reading this. I was just suggesting that maybe after you decide what you think it is, let Chair Nye know, and then he as chair could write a letter to before the September 26th deadline from us, saying,
I can do that.
Okay.
Thank you. Teamwork, love it. So that was that issue. What else?
Keith submitted some pictures from the Arroyo Hondo Bridge. Was that, is that district reports?
that will be, that will be third, the agenda item.
Oh, the placard placement. Okay.
Yeah,
It's always a decision. Where do you,
yeah, where do you talk?
what item do you do, will you put things? That's what I was looking at. I know we've talked about upgrading our website. And it's not really a district report. Oh, but it's on here, isn't it?
It's an agenda item.
Oh, sorry. So I'll wait for that. All right, that's enough on chair, unless someone else besides chair has something. Budget.
We're still, I'm getting it from accounting. We're just waiting for it to come in so I can, if we can trail this item to the end. And we should have it by the time the meeting is adjourned.
We should have it by when?
By the end of the meeting.
Oh,
Yeah, I asked for accounting for it, but it's taking a little time to get here.
okay,
Table it for-
tabled, all right. Now we are at district reports, and I expect to have some energetic participation. Who would like to start, Commissioner? Oh, sorry, Commissioner Knight,
Yeah.
please.
In your packet are some pictures of the Santa Maria Inn that I visited a few days ago. I'm on the subcommittee looking at possible places to designate. This was on our list. It's handy for me, so I dropped in. Really nice young guy at the desk. Go into a room and take a look. So I'm just going to reference the pictures I took here. They're not really in order, but there's one of a taller building about in the middle. That's the south wing, built in 1984. On that same page is the north wing, which is the older part dating back to 1970. And then in between is a lobby area, which I think is modern. We give out a little brochure that gives a history. I'll pass this around for you guys to look at. It was envisioned as a halfway point between Los Angeles and San Francisco. And kind of came into its heyday when the Hollywood people started visiting Hearst Castle. So a lot of famous people stayed there. There's a list of them. Kind of cool when you're walking down the hallways. If you see a gold star on one of the doors, that means somebody famous stayed there. Had a good time just roaming around, and but I talked to you guys.
Question.
God,
So the ones that are older, when I was reading more history on my own, are they like bungalow areas that are the older ones versus the tower, or is
It's
there a section?
the older
separate
ones
one?
are in a 2-story
Okay.
building. The guy at the desk did say they're going to start a phased renovation, he called it. I don't know what that looks like or any details on that. But that's the real interesting section is down there, just walking through the hallways and
There's like a two-story area, because
it is, there's a.
stairwell you see there, that's part of the two-story.
Right, there's,
wing.
yeah, so there's several stairwells like that. There is a,
Yeah, so it looks like original railing and
yeah. Pretty ornate. You can see the electrical outlet has got a little decoration there. There is an old elevator, nothing really remarkable about it, but there's signage says that it's the original. Those brochures, yeah. Yeah, you can get the brochure.
were you able to, through the person that was very helpful, I mean, that was really wonderful that he let you into a.
Yeah,
room.
I just walked up.
Yeah.
And I didn't identify myself as a commissioner. I just said, I'm interested in the history and they obviously promote it. You know, you'll see this brochure coming down. They're proud of their history. And I think that's part of the appeal for people staying there.
I was thinking we might need to find out if it's a big corporation that owns it, or if it's still a family-run
I
operation.
think it says in that brochure coming down.
And then who do we contact to move forward?
Wouldn't it be important to whether this is in the county or in the city?
Santa Maria does not have its own landmark commission.
I see.
So we would, anything in the city of Santa Maria, I believe, we could look into, work with the city, but I mean, look into. But I think the big thing is knowing, which we already got an idea, what is the new versus the old to make over 50 years old, and then look into, if it's city, look into records on what do they have as far as if they ever had a historic report done. If they had remodeling before, it might have already triggered them to have to do a historic report. So all of that would be in records. I assume it'd be the city, but I don't know. That's just something we'd have to look into to see if it would be worth looking into as either landmark or maybe just a place of merit. There's so much changes being done.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
this reminds me of a earlier conversation that we had about the city of Goleta, which when it was formed did not have a historic landmarks department or a staff person, and we were thinking that we would be the ones to review those applications for historic status. Do they have their historian now
You're asking about Goleta?
about Goleta?
They have a full-fledged ordinance and a commission,
So,
a landmark commission, yeah. So they're self-contained.
so that could we not maybe suggest something like that with the city of Santa Maria, that they do that, or if not, maybe that we could look into it and
Well,
say,
I don't know what other communities do this, but Carpinteria has an official affiliation with HLAC that their stuff comes here. But I don't know if Santa Maria does also. I
that'd be
think that would be,
something to look into, or do we just let it chances?
we could look into it. It'd be interesting to know, and as well as to know whether this is in the city or county.
It's right in the middle of the city, I'm sure. It's
Okay.
in the city limits,
Okay.
Yeah.
sure.
Well, then we may not have much jurisdiction. I guess it's up to the city to tell us. I can see that the original building had wood shake siding. And now it looks like it has stucco siding. Well, that would certainly be a question. Oh, there you go. Now, that certainly would be a red flag to me as far as landmark. But maybe as a place of merit. Or, once somebody's done research, that may not be an issue.
The Santa Maria Inn may not be the only historic point of interest or place of interest in the city. There might be others.
Correct.
And I just think it would be nice to have a relationship with them as opposed to nothing.
True.
Not just nice, but maybe in the public interest.
The city moved a big Victorian house that was right by the freeway to its own little area in Santa Monica. Santa Maria, and I've never seen it since it's been moved.
Right by Costco.
Okay, that's where it is.
Next to Costco, it's got a little park they're developing.
Firestones have, I think, didn't they take it from there and it moved on to the Firestone? No, was that different for Victorian that they moved there? Because I remember going to that big one there. Different one than the one that, okay. Oh, just a little. Yeah, the big one went.
Mr. Chair. I just remember, and Jonathan maybe could just do it right now, just Google Santa Maria website. That's where I got the information. I did not see a landmark commission at all. City of Santa
I've
Maria.
never heard of one.
So that's why my assumption is that anything historic would refer to the county for something like that. But again, we need to work with the city of Santa Maria and figure out what that is.
We don't know if they would like us interfering, or you'd think they'd like us helping, but I don't know that.
Did a search that says on June 7th, 2022, an ordinance was adopted absorbing the Landmark Committee duties into the Recreation and Park Commission.
Oh,
Have the city of Santa Maria has their GIS division for historical landmarks and objects of historical merit in Santa Maria. It's up on the website, or it's up on the screen right now.
thank you. And they have a better website than us.
So
This is getting heavier and heavier the more we. Nice
Is the
little
Santa Maria Inn on there?
it's interesting. But that's an interesting piece. This that you just brought up.
There it is.
Yeah.
Santa Maria Inn.
So that's a mute
Oh,
point.
look,
It's already.
It's already on here.
as a landmark, or yeah, I guess so.
This is a landmark, yep.
Okay, there you go.
So we can move on.
I think that thanks to Rob, we got to the bottom of this. So we're still on. Thank you, Rob. Any other district reports? I have a feeling there might be. Mr. Kaufman Gray, anything in the works?
No.
Enlighten us
Because
about.
the bronze plaques is agenda item 10, so most of my discussion would be about that. And as far as future landmarks, the Landmark Commission subcommittee, ad hoc subcommittee, hasn't really met since the last meeting. So Commissioner Knight's, work on Santa Maria Inn was part of what we had talked about. So I have nothing more to talk about on the potential landmarks. I know Commissioner Witash, you had an inquiry about a ranch or something, but
Yes, has not progressed to the level that it merits a report. But just on an aside, my chiropractor is married to a Wickenden, and they live on the ranch. And he tells me that the ranch is in great shape and practically unchanged from the days of Fox and the rest. And so we've had many conversations during my chiropractic sessions, but he tells me that they have, I sent him a nomination form, designation form, and he gave that to the fathers that be, the powers that be, the elders. So they're looking at it, and my preliminary feedback has been that the elders are thinking about it, but with great hesitation. And so, you know, they don't want to give up any control that they have over their property.
Well, that nomination form is admittedly daunting. And who knows what we can do about that, but anyway.
Anyway, it would, we've had conversations about maybe just a partial designation of the site that encompasses the older buildings and then leaving the rest of it open and undesignated. But that, it was just a suggestion and I don't have any feedback on that. I do go tomorrow, so there may be
Oh, good.
for another session, you know, maybe another report out after that.
Could you find out the actual name of the property?
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
It is the Fox and Wigginton Ranch.
I think it's known as Rancho Tinaquac. Does that sound?
Sounds,
Does that
that's,
sound right?
thank you. Thank you.
And it's mostly intact from way back, right? You haven't sold it.
Owned by whom?
The Dore.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, anything more on that would be too personal.
And what was that name, Commissioner Knight, that you used?
My Chumash isn't that great, but Tinaquac.
Here and I think we need to be careful. You know, we have not
Talking about
talked to
this.
them
Okay.
and this is a public meeting. So
Yeah.
if you want to get information, I would do it off site, not so that it's
Thank you, Ms. Ryerson. Oh, you're absolutely right. Thank you. All right. District reports, we're still, we should say something about the Old Coast Highway, I imagine, right? Because that's the Old Coast Highway that or is that on the agenda too?
No, this would be the time to do that.
Okay, thank you. Well, the commission directed us to go forward with the nomination of that 2-mile section of Old Coast Highway near the Nohoki Park. And so that has progressed somewhat. It's the Keith was able to get half the archive of Caltrans full of reports and articles and whatnot. And I went through them all with Amber Long, our historian, to try to help her along so she wouldn't have to bill us so much. And so she's in the process of working on that nomination for a place of historic merit. In the meanwhile, our young and enterprising member, John Villarino, who couldn't make it today because his boss sent him out of town on some project, but he did a very detailed site visit and typed it all up for us, describing various aspects of the paving and where all the culverts were and where the bridge was and so on and so forth. And he really took it seriously, and we appreciate that help that he rendered. So that's kind of where that is, and that information has been forwarded to Amber Long to help her with her report as well. Because probably the most important thing you can do when you're nominating something is to describe it. And it's not like you can talk about 4 elevations and 2 stories high. It's just a road. But there are things worth noting, and paving is foremost. And I drove it myself this weekend, and a good portion of it is original concrete paving from, we're assuming 1916. But there in the 30s, there was asphalt paving, but a lot of that's worn off. So there are places where there's spotted black asphalt. Anyway, but we just need to make sure we describe that. And he saw a bunch of culverts, which are, concrete water directing in pieces in the ground. I didn't see any of them. So he must have got out of his car and traced around. So that is in the works. Am I leaving anything out? Commissioner?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, like I say, Amber's still working on the nomination, and then of course, it's not going to be able to come right to us because there's a 30-day review that has to be done on any nomination. So as soon as she does that, then the chair will have to do the review before it brings to us for discussion. He did notice that, there's all that new paving on Highway 101, and they paved the entrances to, the Old Coast Highway. But he also noticed the boundary between county and state. And so on the nomination, we'll probably have to be real careful on designating where the county line starts and where it's still state, so that our nomination will only be county involved property. Otherwise, we'd have to go to Caltrans or, whatever, 20 feet or 50 feet or whatever when it joins 101. So, it's going to be roads are a lot harder than we thought it would be. And, we're going to have a lot of measurements in the nomination to make it exact, so that we're not putting something that belongs to the state into our.
Well, yes, it's complicated because I didn't see any signage, so I don't know what he saw. But he also has been looking at GIS stuff, and there may be something that he's seen. Yeah, well, that's something we have to clear up. Is the whole thing county? Yeah. So thank you for bringing that up. And I'm going to get in touch with Public Works, because they obviously have a file. It's their road. So I'm going to see what I can dig up there. Anything else? Districts? Updates? Here we are to item 8 on the standard agenda. Consideration of proposed GIS HLAC web page discussion. And this came out at the last meeting, and where we discussed the need to upgrade our website page, which is it just needs to be jazzed up and made more useful and and more attractive to advertise what we do here. So Jonathan, at our request, contacted his boss, who in turn contacted somebody else in, I guess it's in, I don't know, somebody in planning and development, or it was the GIS guy in planning and development.
This went to the finance director, Andrew Vasura, who's
Oh.
come to our board before.
Right. Yeah.
And David discussed it with him, and these are the requests that came out.
Yes, you've got a page showing
Communication between me and my supervisor.
what was conveyed. And it kind of makes sense that they would say, well, what are you proposing? Tell us what you want to do, and then we'll talk about it. They're also saying that if it takes them 10 hours, it will cost us $1,000. So I was hoping for a friendlier response, but on the other hand, that is kind of a practical response. And I've continued the conversation with John Commissioner Villarino, and he is, as you may have gathered from the last meeting, he is really gung ho on this idea of upgrading our website, and he is a godsend as far as I'm concerned. And he would like to, I suggested we should form a ad hoc committee, and he said, that's a great idea. He wants to be on it. So right on, go for it. And he couldn't be here today, but he sent me some notes to convey to you, and it's some of his thoughts. And I'll just read some of these off to you. He says we should determine what information we want on our website before continuing discussion with the county. Right, I agree with that. And he says currently we have the name, the number, the location for the landmarks and places of merit, or at least for the landmarks. He indicates that we have nomination PDF attached to them. He says that we could include a pop-up aspect or element in our website, which would include this information. He said that he studied the Ventura map, which is, the gold standard. He says the quality is likely beyond our budget, and we should probably shoot for something more practical. Let's see what else. And we could add things like whether or not something is on the state or national register, so on and so forth. The map we create will likely be very similar to the Santa Barbara County Interactive Park Map, which we looked at the last meeting. Simple but effective. So once we determine what we want on the map, we can start discussion with county on how to achieve our goal. It's possible they can create it, but it would be best if HLAC was able to create and manage it to cut costs. So that's sort of some of the off the top suggestions and ideas for our discussion here today to continue this effort. Yes, Commissioner Malcolm.
The point of it is GIS.
It's so obvious that I've gone blank. Geo
Oh.
information systems.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, GIS, and that popped into our nomenclature, I think probably in the 70s or 80s, and now it's taken over our world. But it's a very powerful tool. Yes. Oh, thank you, Commissioner. Yes.
I think having Commissioner Villarino on our HLAC he has so much knowledge on mapping. I think the direction that he is suggesting to go, I think, we should take advantage of his knowledge. And, like I say, like he mentioned, is forming an ad hoc subcommittee. The subcommittee can look at what they think should be on the map. He and his expertise can look on how can we do this map. And he even is suggesting that something that we could run and add ourselves, or, give that information to whoever has to input it countywide. Probably we don't have access to the website, but I think that's the direction to go, is to, look into this further. Obviously the cost effect, like to do as much as we can ourselves, so we don't have to use our money that can go to landmarks. But I think we all agree that we're way behind on our website for HLAC versus the rest of the HLACs around, California, and we need to step up our game a little bit. So I would recommend, doing the ad hoc subcommittee and really just let John kind of just take off and then come back to the whole HLAC report and decision on what we want to do. I mean, the subcommittee can decide what should be on the map, but it should be approved by all of HLAC. So, everyone has an input.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Sure.
Oh, yes, Commissioner Witosh.
So with regard to the last item there, who will provide the information for each historic landmark and place of merit? This information exists, does it not, in each of the designation?
Yeah, it's pretty much there now.
So what I'm envisioning is that it's going to be rather tedious, but somebody could go through and retrieve that information for each landmark and then put it onto the website without having to creatively write each one. Does that make sense?
On our website.
It is already, but not that you can click on it. Is that what that?
Every landmark you have a number, you click on that, all the information comes up. The whole idea is you could take that information, put it on the map, so you can click on the map and then the information come up.
I see.
Since Commissioner Witosh wasn't here last time, could you pull up either the county map or the Ventura map so he can get an idea what they look like? Because you were
Yeah,
not here,
yes,
so
okay,
see what it
thank you.
looks
I
but
apologize for that. Yeah,
most of the information, I mean, we need to tweak it, but it's already on our websites.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Well, Jonathan is looking for that. Apparently, to do an upgrade to the extent that we would appreciate it and that would look nice, calls for some software that John doesn't have access to. He thought he might, but he doesn't. But he's talked about buying it himself. So I don't know what it is or how much it costs. But if that happens, he could go a long ways toward mocking up something we can look at and approve and get us to a more definitive point to where we can approach the county and ask them to talk to us about how we can facilitate this. So he's full of ideas and has some thoughts that we can pursue. I see that the parks map is on our screen. County parks. And that's what you would call the pop-up right there, right? So something along those lines would be terrific for our purposes. Are those little hiking men or women? Is that a trailhead?
I'm not sure which differentiates maybe just a trail to a park, open space, but
Just open space, perhaps.
and with my conversation with my supervisor, David, he says this map is 100% doable with GIS and putting all of our landmarks and place of historic merit on one map like this. Mhm.
So he means this software, I guess,
This software, yeah.
but yeah.
Well, the idea is we could maybe even add the trails
Yeah, that's
that
what
we don't have anything right now. That eventually we
At least,
could put a link and then it show mini map maybe of the trails,
or the trailheads, anyway, yeah. Yeah,
Oh, I don't know whether they have some of the trails on it. Doesn't- Yeah. I think some of the trees. Hit on a tree. There's a tree back there that's one of the bright spots. Behind the mountain, behind Santa Barbara. So those are parks. Those are parks. They don't have the trails on. I think I had already agreed to work with John.
Right.
Adding trails when I get information from Montecito's. Have everything on.
would you like to work on the committee itself?
I think I thought we may have.
We may have selected a committee. Okay, who did we select?
It was John.
John and you and who else?
Keith. No.
I will do it, but I would think maybe the chair would want to be on it.
I stepped into that one. What's this, Commissioner? Is there a commission?
Parks Department, Trails Commission. No, it's County Riding and Hiking Trails Advisory Committee. I was on it for 30 years and we can work with them. They don't have maps though. My husband's still on that committee.
Okay, another source of information, maybe, yeah, okay.
To work with Project, I'd be happy.
Okay, so if there are any other thoughts, we're moving along. Otherwise, thank you all.
So, uh,
Yes,
Chair and I, you're on the ad hoc.
yes, and the more I think about it, I think I said I would last time. I had a brainstorm there.
I guess it's a question to Mr. Ryerson. Now that we have an extra member on our board, can you have a 4-member subcommittee versus a 3?
Yes, you could have 4.
Okay, well, I would wouldn't mind being on it. On a 4th.
You're saying you would be on it?
Yeah.
Oh,
4 people.
okay. Well, let's let the minutes show that we have formed an ad hoc committee on upgrading our website to have the following 4 people or 4 commissioners. Commissioner Berlino, if I ever pronounce his name right. Villarino, Commissioner Kaufman Gray, and Commissioner Snow, and Commissioner Nye. We'll see if we can elect Mr. Villarino to be the chair. Moving on quickly. Let's do the bronze plaques. Let's move down to 10. Do that. Would that be all right? Since it's a quicker item, I think.
Okay, since I'm on the subcommittee for the bronze plaques, there's been a lot going on since our last meeting. So I thought I would make this talk with Chair and I that we'd make this an agenda item so that it can be open for discussion for everybody on this. Kind of jumps around, but let me just say On Wednesday, August 28th, after working for schedules and everything, Caltrans District 5 had a Zoom meeting to talk about the placement of the bronze plaques on the two bridges, the Cold Springs Bridge and also the Arroyo Hondo Bridge. The people on the Zoom call, I have to say it was anybody you could think of in District 5 that has something, they're all division chiefs. We had David Beard, he was a maintenance division chief for Division 5 of Caltrans. Christy Kia is the cultural resource branch chief for District 5. We had Corby Kilmer, he landscape architect chief for District 5. And then there was Scott Smith, didn't get the title for Scott Smith, but he was also District 5. And then Commissioner Nye and myself were on this call. And it was all about the placement of the plaques. And right away, we talked about both bridges, and right away, where we had discussed in the past for Cold Springs Bridge isn't state, it's county. And I don't know why we didn't think of that. So the Cold Springs Bridge kind of was off the table right away on our Zoom call because where we want to place it is on a county road and they have no jurisdiction. So, I'll get to that later. So, and then it was, we emphasized, start talking about Arroyo Hondo Bridge. And they were very, very open on places to put it, how to put it on boulders, on where. So I gave Jonathan some of the pictures I took, actually about a month and a half ago. So that's the two top pictures here. That's the Arroyo Hondo Bridge on the right. And that is how it looks now. And at our Zoom meeting, they were using off of Google Maps and it was older pictures. So this is after it's been repaved. So there's a couple of different sites. Now the subcommittee for the plaques is meeting on September 17th. So the subcommittee, which is Commissioner Snow, Commissioner Nye, and myself, are going to go out to Arroyo Hondo to look at these in person. So then we'll be coming back. So we're not really making this decision today. And then also on September 17th, we're meeting at All Saints Episcopal Church with the Reverend Channing Smith to look at that location for where to put the plaques. But this Arroyo Hondo is really interesting because they do have boulders that we could basically put on a boulder. We could move a boulder in. But the idea is, do we want it down right at the bridge where people have to walk down? This picture on the left, if you look at the bridge, it's very hard to see, but at the very left side of the entrance to the bridge is where this plaque is. Now, this plaque was put up by the Arroyo Hondo Preserve to talk about the fish down below, the steelhead that they're trying to revitalize going up the creek. And so the original idea was maybe have the plaque down here. I originally was thinking like the abutment to the bridge, but the bridge is so old and the concrete is starting to crumble that we probably shouldn't attach anything to something that old. At least that's my personal opinion. But they thought, you could possibly maybe put something attached to this signage. Or, I don't have a picture to show you, but at the top of the trail that goes down, maybe possibly put the signage there as people look down and see the bridge. Now, if you haven't been to the Vista Point since it's been reopened, it is pretty amazing what they did. I mean, there's ADA, there's beautiful new signage. It's all at the top. And at the top, they have signage for the islands, and also it mentions the bridge. They were suggesting that maybe the plaque should be up at the turnout at the top. The question is, you don't see the bridge from that area. You would not see the bridge at all. So this is something that the subcommittee is going to look at. We're doing that, like I said, on September 17th, we're going to do our little road trip up there and look at spaces. But I just wanted everyone to get an idea that there's all kinds of possibilities. Caltrans is open to help us, whatever we can. Now, what we also learned, and again, we did not know, is there's things as an encroachment permit which you have to do if you're going to put something that's on their property. So they gave us a Caltrans encroachment permit link. So once we find out where we want it, then we have to fill out this permit and we would submit it to Caltrans to wherever we decide to place the plaque. Just to mention, up at the Vista Point, there is a couple of big sandstone boulders near the signage that tells what's going on, that it looked like it would be a really good spot to attach a plaque on the boulder. But again, it doesn't look out over it at the Arroyo Hondo Bridge. So, so I thought, you know, for them to spend all the time to talk about a plaque, I thought was pretty amazing. They're very supportive of putting the plaque. You know, we'll just get back at the next meeting and let you decide, you know, where you think the plaque should be as a full commission. Again, like I said, All Saints by the Sea Episcopal Church, we're going to be meeting on September 17th, and we'll look at the space places there and come back. Now, on Cold Springs Bridge, after this meeting with Caltrans, I emailed Mostafa Estahi. He's, I don't know, he's like, he's not the head of, but I think he's the head director of roads for the county. And I asked what we need to do to put a plaque, because we were thinking about Stagecoach Road. Now, if you look at down below, that is where the current engineering plaque is that overlooks. And the subcommittee has been thinking that this would be a good spot to put our new plaque just underneath the big plaque. It's a turnout. People look up, they see the bridge. So anyway, I emailed Mostafa about what do we need to do with the county to put a plaque. And he got back to me and said, well, you need a encroachment permit from the county, just like from the state. And he said he would refer it to someone to get back to me. Well, on Friday, I got an email from a Brent Calvin. He's construction and permit manager for the county of Santa Barbara. And he sent the link for the encroachment permit for the county of Santa Barbara. So I thought today that since this is more informational, we thought it was going to be decision time for this meeting when we put the agenda on it. But since we have to first have the meeting with All Saints, we have to have the site visit for the turnout. So those will have to come back. But I thought maybe today the commission could decide if they like this spot for the Cold Springs plaque, then we can move forward and get the encroachment permit to put it on there. And then we wouldn't have to come back to put it. And hopefully if we come back, the plaque will be in place. There's things we need to find out. First of all, who owns that cement that's placed there? Was it paid for by the engineering firm that put the plaque up there? So do we need permit from them to be able to put our plaque on there? I mean, there's a lot of questions, but I thought at least if we like the idea of putting the plaque on this, that we could at least move forward and hopefully get the permit going that we need. So I guess I'm just opening it up to the HLAC Commission for further discussion on all three of these, but mainly about this one, since we kind of already at least as a subcommittee, thought this would be a good spot. And by the way, Jonathan, can you bring up the plaques? You can show them, because we did get them made and they were delivered. We can just pass them down while we're talking.
Exactly. It's really heavy.
Surprise.
Amazing. Really came out well.
Surprises everybody.
Mhm.
They came out really nice. One question, does it cost to get an encroachment permit?
We will find out.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, we will find out. We don't know.
That's what
I
The
I
county
have the
owes a
links.
permit after
And I thought, because you have to create a password and everything to get in. So I thought, well, let's wait until we decide and then create the password, go in and then see what it is. But both Caltrans and also the county, besides the link to get to the permit, they also gave a number that we can call and talk to somebody if we're having trouble doing it. So, I mean, they want to help us, do it. So we have help from both sides to do it.
Well, you would like us to discuss and make a decision on the Cold Spring Bridge
Yes,
location
yeah.
today.
And open up for comments for anybody on any of these.
So I'll open this for discussion or questions. And
I see a big rock next to it too. If concrete is owned by somebody, maybe the rock is an option.
Plan B, maybe? Yeah, I saw that too. Right.
Or a rock. Just, I forgot to mention, when we talked with Caltrans, they have access to all kinds of boulders and there's a chance that they could move it. But it was also mentioned by, it was Corby, the landscape architect, said that it might be cheaper if we were to go down to the local quarry in Santa Barbara, pick out a boulder, pay to have it sent up to where we want it, because it's not that expensive to do it. I thought it would be like thousands of dollars, but it's not that much to pick out a boulder. The quarry or whatever the company is in Santa Barbara would haul it to where you want it to place it, because they do it all the time for landscaping. So I mean, that's a possibility for, if there's not a boulder.
It's
I didn't bring it's an engineering.
it's an engineering society. It's nationwide. And you're probably even a member of it, I'm sure. Yeah, and they go around putting plaques up, and I have a feeling, yeah, that it turns out that that's in the county right away. So we have to go through the county, and then of course we need to contact that engineering society to see if it's okay to
I'm sure.
piggyback on their monument.
I would think that the county has an encroachment permit for this that was there, and would probably have the contact information for their encroachment.
That's
permit.
true. There should be one on file. Good point. Maybe, yeah, maybe I can check into that. So, I think the ideal thing with getting back to the Royal Hondo Bridge is if there is an existing boulder, we should take advantage of that. And I think there is one up there.
The existing boulder, is the bridge visible from that existing boulder? Or does it have to be moved?
We'll find out on September 7th.
Okay, that's okay. Field research, okay.
The problem with the whole setup, and Jonathan, can you scroll up back to the Royal Hondo? That opening on the left where the concrete is right there has got gates on it, or at least part of it does, and it's got boulders in front, so nobody can drive down the.
That was an older picture.
Yeah.
After I looked at what I'd taken, there is a gate now at the top of this
Yeah.
walkway. So it's for vehicles, don't drive down there, but pedestrians can walk around the gate. But those boulders that we saw during our
Okay.
Zoom meeting, yeah, I don't have a picture.
And I'm confusing the situation.
Yeah, it's at
Thank
the
you.
top of the hill that you walk down.
As you go from where this camera is back up, there's a pullout and there's some historic plaques talking about the bridge and the ocean, all that stuff. And a couple of boulders, but they're a ways from.
You don't see the bridge.
You don't see the bridge.
But up at that part, there's another gate which has boulders. So we'd have to somebody would have to move a boulder out of the way to take our boulder down there. It gets more complicated.
Figure it
I know it'd be nice to be able to see the bridge and the plaque at the same time. But it is, the bridge is looming down there, and there are photos of the bridge on those historical placards. That might be the best we can do.
Yeah, we just have
The-
to.
Yeah. So a couple things. On this Arroyo Hondo Bridge, there were several views. One view that is very impressive is the bridge with the arches.
Right.
That is the story of the bridge. To stand on the entrance to the bridge and to see the railings only seems like if you celebrate the bridge, you're only seeing the railings, it's kind of a letdown. The real scene is where you see the bridge and the arch in all its splendor. And the other thing is you have a little sign to the left, which is not about history at all. It's about fish passages and upstream habitats. And that presentation is a very different
Right.
presentation from the other.
Right.
It seems like probably appropriate that the fish passage and upstream habitat be located at the entrance to the bridge, although it really is down below. So you need to have a little trail that goes down there.
There is a trail that goes down right where that sign is. Yeah. And that fish bridge or whatever it's called
Passage.
was actually in the News Hawk issue this morning, because they've succeeded in coaxing a bunch of salmon up the river there.
Oh, that's good.
And the other thing that's great to see when you, at least from the top of the bridge, is the railroad trestle
Yeah.
which runs right.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is quite interesting.
Right.
But anyway, yeah.
So the other piece of this is the Cold Spring Arch Bridge, and the fact that this plinth is a marker that was by the Engineering Association. That's a different group from our group, although it makes a lot of sense to pile on all the plaques onto the existing plinth in order not to dot the landscape with all this. That makes sense. But and rather than having a plinth and a rock, a boulder, a plaque this and a plaque that, gets a little busy.
I agree. What are we looking at here?
This is a Google Earth image of the Arroyo Hondo Bridge. This is where it would start on the right here on the pedestrian side, and then you see the railroad on the cross right here.
That's the road.
It's a little warped because it's a 3D image, but
Oh, yeah.
Where would you see the arch down? below?
The
I don't
problem
know.
is the only place you see the arches is if you're on southbound 101 on the freeway. There's no pull offs there. And of course you wouldn't want to discourage people to pull off on a freeway to look. So, unfortunately, there's really no place that you could put a plaque that looks at the arches. Because like I say, the only way you see the arches is southbound. Northbound, you can't even see the bridge. It's only southbound you see the Arroyo Hondo Bridge.
So if you notice where those automobiles or trucks are down toward the bottom, yeah.
This picture you see was during construction because
Yeah.
the on-ramp is not.
So now that's all been repaved, and it's kind of a little visitors pull off there. Whoops.
And you can see all the new paving. This was taken after they opened it up. They repaved all the pathway down to the.
So that's, yeah. And that's the vicinity where those cars are, only further south is where that boulder is that we could use for that site. Anyway,
Mr. Chair, On this photograph that's showing now, where the cars are, there's a road to the left that is actually in the, no, hold it.
Stop.
Road right there. There's a little pullout on that road.
That's the walking path down to the bridge. It looks like a road, but that's the walking path to the,
With a tree.
yeah.
Could you go a little, if Howard is okay, can you scroll down the
Yeah.
photo a little bit more? There we go. So there, where those cars are, there's a formal pullout and another. I was wrong. That's where there are boulders
Way at the turnout where
up
they.
there. So if you see the sort of the middle batch of cars, that's where there's a boulder that we could use,
But you can't see the bridge.
Not well, if at all, because you're a few yards away to the south. I don't know
That
what we could possibly do about that.
that goes to the question then again, where you see I believe there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars there up at the top of the road there.
Mhm.
And then if you go to the left, there's that's the trail. And if you go up past the second clump of trees, there is a little pullout or a little area. It would seem that you could see the arches from that place.
It's a different elevation. Like I say, the subcommittee will do.
Why
the
we're
site
going
visit,
back out
And I
there.
always recommend people,
Have you been there?
I always recommend commissioners to pull off yourself and take a look at yourself to get an
Yeah.
idea what it is. But I know that where the information is on the pullout further, it's quite a ways. It's even south of this. It's not where those cars are. It's a little bit
Ah.
further south. And you would not see the bridge from there, but they do have all the information about the islands, about the bridge, right at that turnout. It's ADA now, there's ADA area. And there's a couple of boulders that they recommended that they thought would be a good spot for it. Or of course, down that other picture, down actually near the bridge. But it's all, I recommend everyone to, if you're going south on 101 in that area, just pull off. For years, I never pulled off.
Yeah.
And after this has been redone, I was amazed at the amount of money they put into this. I mean, this isn't a freeway. They put this money in, Caltrans did, for the public to enjoy the coastline
Yeah.
and, and all this new information. So it's really worth seeing. They're very proud of it, and I can see why, because they put a lot of money into this new pull-off. And to pave the path down to the bridge, I personally thought, they might want to discourage people from going down there, but they repaved the whole path to walk down to that bridge, so over a Honda bridge.
Well, we probably should move along. But thank you all for
Any
participating.
decision on the plaque for Cold Springs?
Yes, we need a decision. Will somebody, do we need a motion for this?
I don't think so, because it's not an action item. So it's just pretty much,
Okay. So what's the feeling here on the commission? Shall we go ahead and try to, which one are we talking about? The
Cold
Cold
Springs.
Spring? Look into adding our monument, our plaque to the existing monument and see where that gets us.
That would be a good
I think so, and unless that, those engineers
Mhm.
don't want us messing up their plinth, but hopefully they'll,
Could I ask a question?
Yes,
about
please.
it? Is the engineering plaque incised, or is it like ours concreted on?
it's attached.
I mean, attached, like, inside. but
Oh,
into
incised.
side.
Well, we can look at that picture,
No,
Jonathan, the two below.
I
It
think
looks
it's
like
I think it's a reverse mounted plaque, just like
so
ours are
like
reverse
ours, so
mounted.
it'd be good. Okay,
looks fairly,
this looks like it was the You know, the plinth was created to.
Yeah.
Jonathan, can you kind of blow that up?
Yeah.
Plaque?
I've seen this plaque many times. I think it is,
Looks like it is inserted into the concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it looks like it extends a little forward. But
make it larger.
It's a, yeah, it's the part that's still going.
It's a max.
I have a picture. I think it's on my-
I think we can, there's the consensus here is to go forward with that pursuit. Let's see, the last item on our agenda was the training item. Somebody joining us or
It's just my computer's not.
somebody's playing an instrument?
What's going on?
Is that you, Jonathan?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I'm trying, my computer was not cooperating.
Well, how does everybody feel? Can you handle another 10 minutes or so? Or should, of me talking? Okay. Well, we left off at the last meeting. We were marching through the nomination form for the All Saints Church. And we got, and hopefully you all have a copy of that nomination. We got to number 12, I believe. Discuss why the nominated property meets one or more of the eligibility criteria established by the County Code of Ordinance, Chapter 18A. And it says consult the county landmark information sheet and use continuation pages. Well, this is kind of the crux of what we do here. And I just want to try to pull back the veil of mystery and point out how pretty much how common sense it is. It just, when it's put together in formal language on a form, it's kind of intimidating. Jonathan, I didn't warn you about this, but can you pull up the landmark, our HLAC website?
Absolutely.
And you will find where it directs you, you have an option for looking at the landmarks and places of merit somewhere on there. Oh, okay. Go to where our instructions are. Are they just under landmarks? Okay. So if you, let's see. I guess that one, I think so, has both of them.
Oh, there's a nomination.
Okay, yeah, detailed and general. So let's start with the specific detailed. So this is something we put together, myself and Lansing and perhaps Lansing Duncan and perhaps Commissioner Witosh a few years ago to help people understand the application and what we're looking for. So this is entitled specific item by item instructions. So you'll note it's got the same numbers, and you can scroll down, and it sort of indicates in actual human language, here's what you should put in there. Carefully, physical description, number 8, carefully describe the resource being nominated. That kind of stuff. And you go to number 12, and it instructs you to consult the county landmark information sheet to see the 9 criteria. And that's what all this boils down to. And it's some of the more confusing aspects of this is what constitutes a landmark, or what allows us to designate something. And if you can go to the general instructions, this is another short document that we put together to help people understand the process. And guidance for preparers on the towards, it gives more help in how to figure out if something is historic or not. And the very first thing it lists is historic integrity. And integrity, we all have integrity, of course, and there's various uses of the word integrity, but when it comes to physical structures and locations, it's applied in a certain way. And what we use, and this comes directly from the National Register in the state of California, we use the elements of integrity to determine if something is worthy of designation. So the very bottom, the elements include location. Is it still on its original location? Is this house still where it was built? It might still be a resource, even if it's not, but chances are that detracts a great deal if it's been moved. Going next, B is setting. We talked about this last time. As the growth of more recent nearby structures or features intruded upon and compromised the resource's original historical context.
We go down a little bit.
And that would be then number C. Number 3 is design. Does the resource accurately reflect its original style? Has it been altered, and so on and so forth? D is materials. Does it retain its original materials? Details such as the types of a siding or other aspects. If these elements have deteriorated or been disturbed, are the changes so extensive that their value as examples of fine craftsmanship have been lost? So the integrity is very important in what historians do and what we do here as far as assessing. And I'll go back to that Santa Maria Inn. It was clearly sided with wood shingles when it was built in 1917, but now it's been covered with plaster. So that's not a great thing to happen for as far as integrity of that building is concerned. It changes the look and the character of that building. I mean, it could still be found significant, but it's a mark against it when you have that undesirable occurrence. Now, sometimes the changes can be made to a building that are themselves historic. If they had changed that exterior on that hotel in 1930, a good while ago, you could argue, well, that's all right. That's still historic. That was a period when that was that material trying to emulate the Spanish colonial heritage. So it's always a conversation. So integrity is important to determine if it has to meet three of those elements of location, setting, design, materials, workmanship. Secondly, on that same page, age. we've said this before, the standard time frame for determining significance is 50 years and or close to it. There are times when something is less than 50 years old and can still be significant. And then thirdly is the hardest part of all to get your minds around is the eligibility criteria. That's we have A through I, all the various ways something could be significantly considered. These are the original criteria that show up in our founding document, the chapter 18A. Only they're kind of written in a bureaucratic way. And you don't have to turn to this, but A, eligibility criteria A is exemplifies or reflects special elements of the county's cultural, social, economic, political, archaeological, aesthetic, engineering, architectural, or natural history. Does this property do that? We toned it down in our little helpful device here under A. Does the resource reflect or embody an important aspect of the county's history? So the Santa Maria Inn has a lot to do with the establishment of roadside business and tourism and all kinds of categories of county history, for example. B is identified with persons or events significant in local, state, or national history. And that's translated as is the resource associated with a person or persons important to history? That would come out in the research. C is the research an outstanding example of particular style or type of structure. D is the resource a work of an important architect or builder. These are all things you ask of the property. Does the research contribute? I'm looking at E, contribute to the significance of a definable historic district or landscape. F, is the resource a long time visual feature of the neighborhood? Next one is, does the resource exhibit elements of fine craftsmanship? H, does the resource reflect broad patterns of historical geographic settlement or development? And finally, I, is the research a rare or disappearing example of its type or age? So those are the elements that you'll see reflected in our historian's summary of the section 12 of the nomination for the church. And you'll see that she summarized it by saying it is more than 50 years of age. So there's the age criteria. It retains sufficient integrity to convey its original craftsman style, architecture theme. So she addresses those two things. And the church represents the work of Arthur B. Benton. So that would be D. Well, she mentions that down below again too. It meets criterion A because it exemplifies the county's cultural and architectural history. She doesn't go into any detail there. It meets criterion C because it embodies the distinctive characteristics of craftsman style. It meets D because it represents the work of Arthur Benton. It meets F because of the location within Montecito, and so an established visual feature. So a historian would probably take 2 pages to say all that. But for the nomination form, we're just doing summaries, obviously. So hopefully that gives you an idea of why she wrote what she did in there. She was looking at the criteria and decided that it met 4 of the criteria. So hopefully that might help explain what we're supposed to be doing up here. And it's based on quite a few years of practice at the national and state level. And the county supervisors created our own commission in the 60s or 70s, and just pulled in these various sources and guidelines for our use here. Any questions or comments or suggestions?
Minor
Please.
logical,
Yes,
graphical.
go ahead.
Section 13, last line. Benton, an architect of statewide important. I think it should be importance.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you would scroll up to an earlier section, there's another place where I noted something didn't make sense here. Where is that? Up, there we go, here we go, somewhere, a little more. More. No, down, I think it's down now, let's see here. Hold on.
Are you on page 1?
There's one where there's a verb is missing here. Had been or something. It's it's modifications west. Yeah, hold down a little bit. It's just as a typographical thing. Structural series with a 10. Well, it reads funny. Yeah.
Yeah, this is already official. Warts and all.
Oh, I see. I thought this is open to comments. So I thought,
Oh, no, well, it is. You're entitled. Appreciate it.
all right.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's there for the ages now. So without any further ado, did we ever get the budget?
We do. We have the budget ready to go
Is okay.
right here in front of you on the screen.
So those of you who are good at budgets, is there something to recommend here?
I would just mention that we are the end of the 3-month period to submit for mileage, because I noticed no one submitted travel for this fiscal year. So Jonathan, I know put in
I
our.
believe everybody got a mileage form in their packets.
Yeah,
So
so, especially people that drive from up north, submit it by the end of this month to get reimbursed.
if you need any assistance on that, please let me know and I can help you fill out the forms. From the 20, yeah, we submitted that 2024 one, so that should be going through. Yeah. I'll get in contact with them again and see if that's being pushed through. Thank you.
With that, I guess, if there's nothing further to discuss or mention, we will adjourn. Thank you all for participating. And it's 11:39.